incoming rent. I just want to say this. The problem isn't creators. The problem is a system that's been allowed to exploit creators for far too long. And I think it's time we start talking about it, because why is it that when a brand sends me a contract, my deadlines are non-negotiable? If my contract is due on Monday, it's due on Monday. If I miss that deadline, there are consequences, and rightfully so, right? But somehow, when it's time for brands to pay creators, suddenly everyone's looking into it. Oh, the invoice got lost. Please send it again. Finance is processing it. I'm sure you've heard that one. The payment run is only next week. We'll add it to the next payment run. I'm so sorry. Someone forgot to approve it. No, that's not professional. And we've normalized it for far too long. Because if I submitted my content late, I wouldn't get to say, I'm so sorry. I'm still looking into it. Sorry, I forgot to film. I'll upload it next week. Is that okay? I forgot. There would be consequences, right? So why is there a different standard when creators are the ones waiting to be paid? Professionalism goes both ways. If creators are expected to meet deadlines, brands should be expected to meet payment deadlines, not as a favor, as a basic standard of doing business. Creators, we also need to start respecting ourselves enough to ask better questions. Read your contracts, negotiate your contracts. Don't just sign whatever gets sent to you. If a contract says 60, 90, or even 120-day payment terms, ask why. Negotiate, because brands negotiate every single day with suppliers. Why shouldn't creators? And I know work isn't always easy to come by. I have been there. I know the fear. If you push back, they'll probably just choose another creator. And sometimes they will. Actually, they usually do. But there comes a point where you have to respect yourself enough to ask those hard questions, to negotiate, to say, can we reduce the payment terms? Is there more budget? If the budget is fixed, can we then reduce the deliverables? Because that's only fair. Because another thing we need to stop doing is accepting campaigns that expect 3 reels cross-posted to TikTok, 2 stories with links, a carousel, usage rights, all for 2,500 Rand. There are still brands offering creators 500 Rand. That's not collaboration. That's exploitation. And please never feel embarrassed to ask for your money. You're not asking for a favor. You're asking to be paid for work you've already completed. That's called business. In fact, don't even wait until it's overdue. Don't even wait for the due date. 3 days before payment is due, follow up. Confirm they received your invoice. Confirm it's been submitted to finance. Because I already know there are agencies I work with where if I don't get someone to acknowledge receipt of my invoice, it somehow never reaches finance. I already know which agencies pay on time, which ones ghost creators after content is delivered, which ones require constant follow-ups. And that's knowledge I've had to learn through experience. Most creators can't afford managers, so you have to be your own manager. You really do. Read your contract, question every clause, negotiate every deliverable, because here's the bigger issue. The brands talk to each other, the agencies talk to each other, but creators don't share enough information. And then we hop online and we start hating on each other, fighting each other, saying these creators are not nice, these ones don't want to share information. It is a system. It is a system put into place by people that want us to have these arguments amongst each other. I need you guys to tap in. Tap in. We need to start talking. Share your experiences. Share payment timelines. Share fair rates. Recommend the agencies that actually do right by creators. Warn each other about the ones that don't, because transparency protects all of us. At the end of the day, the problem isn't creators. The problem is a system that benefits from creators being afraid to ask questions, being afraid to negotiate, being afraid to say no. That system only changes when we stop accepting it, because when one creator negotiates, it helps one creator, right? But when thousands of creators raise the standard together, the industry has no choice but to comply, but to follow. Creators don't need more exposure. Creators need fair contracts, fair payment terms, and an industry that respects their work as much as it respects their deadlines.